Years later, after being ousted from the MLB, Trevor Bauer is still vigorously trying to make his way back into the league. And if you can believe it or not, the latest update in this never-ending saga involves the American government. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In this one, we're going to be talking about the latest news surrounding Trevor Bauer and discussing whether or not this is going to move the needle in having him return to MLB, or if honestly that is just never going to happen. Before we get into it, please make sure to hit that like, smash the subscribe button, and let me know your thoughts about all this in the comments down below. So here we are, everybody. Here is the update. Congressman says MLB is ousting Trevor Bauer due to Trump support in letter to Rob Manfred. Now, the congressman in question here, I looked him up. His name is Eric Burleson. Apparently, he is, from Missouri, so he's, all involved in Missouri and obviously a fan of Trevor Bauer. He came out and wrote a specific letter to Rob Manfred, and in that letter, he says a bunch of different things, but some of the things that stood out to me was this right here. Given that no legal action was taken against Mr. Bauer, I am convinced his absence may be tied to certain political statements he made that diverged from prevailing league orthodoxy, as well as statements he made that were critical of MLB and particularly you. Specifically, in 2016, Mr. Bauer publicly expressed positive views about then-candidate Donald J. Trump, including comments on social media praising Trump's campaign rhetoric and outsider status. So there we have it. That is one of, again, many different things that Bauer or that this congressman came out and said. And the question is this accurate? Does Bauer's political views have anything to do with this? Well, again, no one other than Rob Manfred is really going to know. But if I can give my 2 cents right here, I personally don't think that his political views have anything to do with the fact that he's not an MLB. I mean, I don't know the stats for certain, but I would argue that there is probably a ton. You know what I mean? Half or more than half of the MLB players that are in there right now that support Donald Trump or that, or support Republicans or what have you, right? So, I mean, you're not going to just kick out every single MLB player that, doesn't agree with you, politically speaking, right? That's just not going to happen, right? So, I hear where this congressman is coming from. I do think it is a little bit of a stretch that it has anything to do with political views, but I do agree that it's got much more to do with what he says right here, as well as statements he made that were critical of MLB and particularly you. I think that has a lot more to do with why Trevor Bauer is not in this league, rather than where he voted or who he voted for, or who he supports, or anything like that, Bauer, during the sticky stuff, during that entire scandal, he was extremely outspoken against Rob Manfred, against the league, against everyone. He was coming out on social media, he was saying a bunch of different things about it, and then he had this whole legal trouble, and I do think that maybe Rob Manfred, maybe MLB kind of used that legal situation to then push their narrative, which is that they don't want Trevor Bauer in the league anymore because he is obviously coming after them. So I think that's got a lot more to do with it rather than his political views, everything like that. Now, of course, there's going to be some people in the comments, rightfully so, asking the question, can Trevor Bauer actually even play at MLB anymore? Because the guy's 34 years old. We haven't seen him in the league for a long time. Last time that we saw him in MLB, 2021, he was great. He had a 2.59 ERA, over 107.2 innings the year before that. Granted, it was the COVID year, but still gets himself a Cy Young, right? The guy was phenomenal in Cincinnati and then over there in LA. Then obviously he had a scandal and of course hasn't been in the league ever since. And that was quite a while ago. I mean, 2021, geez, I'm making myself feel old right now, but that was what, 3-4 years ago? We're going into 2025. Now, granted, Trevor Bauer has kept up with his pitching. I'm sure if you clicked on this video, you've probably watched one of his YouTube videos before. You know, you've seen him doing a bunch of stuff. So the guy is still pitching, and he is still pitching at a competitive level. You know, he was over there in Japan for a little while, threw over there, had a 2.59 ERA in 2023. Then in 2024, he was in Mexico. He had a 2.48 ERA. So again, not the MLB at all. Definitely, you know, not the same as going up against the Dodgers lineup right now. It's very, very different if he ever was to do that again. But still, playing at a relatively competitive level and still truly believing in himself as well, folks. This just speaks on how outspoken Trevor Bauer is, and honestly, it probably comments like this towards Rob Manfred, everything like that, which has him not in the league in the first place, but he still thinks that he can compete at this level. He came out on Twitter not even that long ago saying that there are only about 20 hitters on the planet that are true competition for him, and that he just steamroll the rest of the MLB, you know. So if you're not Ohtani, if you're not Bryce Harper, he's gonna run right through you, or at least that is what he believes right now. So he still thinks he can play at this level. He probably can. I mean, there's definitely other pitchers out there that, you know, let's face it, aren't as good as Trevor Bauer is. I'm sure that, you know, you can pinpoint a couple of them, you know, 5th, 4th in the rotation that just aren't it. So the question is, does a letter like this literally, like, you know, really pushing the narrative that you need to reinstate Trevor Bauer, that you need to reconsider this, everything like that, from somebody that is part of the U.S. government, does that move the needle? I don't know. You know, that's something that only time is going to tell. I would say that this is probably like one of the best things for Trevor Bauer, to have somebody in authority coming out and specifically addressing Rob Manfred, right? He's going to feel the pressure, you know what I mean? Like, if you're Rob Manfred and you have a literal U.S. congressman coming out and you know, coming at you right now and saying, you got to reinstate this guy, you are going to start to feel the pressure. And I would imagine as well that probably going to be another outburst on social media, an outcry for Trevor Bauer to come back and, you know, bring himself back in the league, because again, you know, the guy was, you know, never proven guilty for any of the legal stuff that he had. You know, the district attorney didn't pursue that, everything like that. So for Trevor Bauer's standpoint, this is definitely a positive update. Now, I do believe that you're still going to need to have a team out there that's got to take a shot at him, right? You know, you're still somebody's got to pay him just a little bit of money, even though he's willing to sign for effectively the league minimum, but someone's going to have to pay him a little bit of money. They're going to have to bring him into their clubhouse, and they're probably going to have to deal with a bit of pushback from MLB, from Rob Manfred. And really, for me, the only type of team that would be willing to do that would be willing to take a shot on Trevor Bauer, would be a team that is in desperation mode right now. And I have to bring up the New York Yankees. This is a squad that went to the World Series last year, right? Obviously didn't win it, but still, like, their expectations are sky high, and they just got the news that Luis Gil, Rookie of the Year, he's going to be injured. We don't know how long, could be quite a while. And of course, Garrett Cole, you know, ace, top 5 pitcher in MLB, he's gone for the year. Now, Dan Clark came out and was talking about all of the potential problems with the New York Yankees, and here's Trevor Bauer immediately in the replies. 5,500 likes on this, by the way, more than the actual tweet, saying need a Cy Young starting pitcher for $0? Obviously referencing himself. So that's where we're at right now, everybody, with the latest Trevor Bauer news and updates. You have literal U.S. congressmen, you know, begging Rob Manfred to reinstate this guy. You got big injuries over there in New York, and I know that he's had his problems with the New York Yankees before, but are they desperate enough? Are they desperate enough to pull the trigger? I don't know. Like I said, only time will tell. But I do think that this might be Trevor Bauer's best and probably last shot at coming to MLB. Like, if it doesn't happen now, It's never going to happen. You guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. Do you think that he is done for good, or is that there's just a sliver of hope for him to touch MLB grass one more time? Let me know in the comments down below. Please hit that like, smash that subscribe button, and we'll catch you next time.